I picked up my life and moved to Italy at 19 years old, 11 and a half years ago, and here's my story. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska, but I spent summers growing up in Italy because I have Italian heritage. I spent time in Cinque Terre, where I live now, and fell in love with it. So as a kid, it already kind of felt like a second home to me, and that's kind of what set the stage for me to move to Italy later on. Fast forward to college, I decided to study Italian language, and I figured if I'm gonna study Italian, I might as well do it in Italy. So I found a university in Florence, Italy, and that's where I got my bachelor's degree. So I moved to Florence at 19 years old, and this is when my journey in Italy began. A year into living in Italy, I decided I want to stay here. So how am I going to do this? Because my student visa is going to be up in a couple years. So I ended up looking into Italian citizenship through my Italian bloodline because I had Sicilian blood, and I knew that there was a way to reclaim your citizenship if you qualified. I was able to do that. I officially became an Italian citizen in 2018 via my Italian bloodline, and then I started my business in Italy. That's when my Airbnb experience was born, my bike tour along the Ligurian Sea, and then my small group tours to Cinque Terre that I host now several times a year with my mom and with my husband. In 2020, Italy was totally shut down to tourism due to COVID, and this is when I started my online Italian lessons. I teach private lessons and group courses. I actually have a live course starting next week if you want to join. Even though my Italian lessons were kind of born out of desperation because I just needed work, I have totally fallen in love with teaching. Okay, now let's skip to 2021. This is when I met Steven. So I came home to Omaha for Christmas and I got on the dating app Hinge. We went on a date and I was like, I really like you, but my life's in Italy. And he said, cool, let's move to Italy. So in 2022, we moved to Italy together. And ever since then, we've kind of been bouncing back and forth until we got married. And we just got married 2 weeks ago, actually. I'm officially a wife. And now we have a place in Omaha as well. So we spend our winters in Omaha and the rest of the year in Italy. You guys have probably seen my apartment tour. That is Steven and I's apartment in Italy, and he absolutely loves life there. As I mentioned, we host small group tours together to Cinque Terre several times a year, and watching Steven fall in love with Italy has been such a beautiful thing for me to witness too, because I've almost gotten to re-fall in love with all those things that I first fell in love with when I moved to Italy almost 12 years ago.